Hello friends, welcome back again to the channel. I hope everyone is safe. In today's video, I would be talking about what is the difference between resource planning and the capacity planning in workforce management or in call center. So this video is going to be kind of very interesting. For more WFM call center reasoning analytical questions, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. So now let's start with the video. First of all, we have to understand that what is the difference between resource planning and capacity planning. So both are crucial aspect of workforce management, but they focus on different aspect of managing resources and ensuring optimal performance. So in this video, I would be talking about 5 key difference between resource planning and capacity planning. So this is the most important question that are asked during the interviews, and if you know the answer, you are definitely would be clearing the interview. So now let's start. So first of all, the difference is scope. So in resource planning typically refers to the allocation and management of human resources such as agent, supervisor, and support staff within a call center or organization. So resource planning does have the allocation and the management of the agent, support staff, and the supervisor what we have in the call center or in the organization. On the other hand, capacity planning involves analyzing and managing the overall capacity and capability of the call center to handle workload and meet service level objectives, which may include both human and technological resources. So capacity planning basically measures the service level target, average speed of answer, and the other KPIs that has been set by the client in between the call center and the client. By that way, they have to make sure that they have the right number of resources to meet the service level, technology, infrastructure. All these things should be very well kept to meet all these things. Second is focus. Resource planning focus on optimizing the utilization of available human resources by aligning staffing levels with workload forecast, scheduling shift, managing breaks and leaves, and ensuring adequate skill coverage. So basically, in the second point, it says that optimizing the utilization of available human resources. It could be agent, it could be supervisor, or any other resources which are associated with the call center. Need to make sure that they have the right kind of shift as per the skill set they have. They have the breaks and the leave to be scheduled to make sure that they should not be feeling overworked or underworked. After that, we have capacity planning focus on evaluating the call center capacity to handle fluctuations in demand, anticipating future resources requirement, and identifying potential bottlenecks or constraint that may impact performance. So capacity planning in the second option, in the second thing, which is focus on evaluating the call center capacity to handle the fluctuations which may have in the near future, anticipating what kind of future resources we need to have by anticipating the demand what we are expecting, and on the basis of that, if we have any kind of potential negative point which may occur in the future, that also needs to be addressed. So let's move on to the third point what we have in this. So the third point is time horizon. Resource planning typically operates on a shorter time horizon, often dealing with day-to-day or week-to-week scheduling and staffing decisions to meet immediate operational needs. So basically, it involves about the day-to-day or week-to-week scheduling of the resources, and the staffing decision has to be made to meet the immediate operational needs, like in case of any overtime. If we need to have the overtime, so that has to be met immediately to make sure that we have the right number of resources available to meet the expected demand. But on the other side, capacity planning involves long-term strategic planning, looking ahead weeks, months, or even years to anticipate changes in demand, expansion or contraction of operations, and investments in infrastructure or technology. Capacity planning, it means that you have to analyze the historical data, and on the basis of that, you have to predict future for a long period of time, depending on the ask what you have. So it could be in weeks, months, or even in years. There may be different kind of changes in the product. There may be different kind of modification in the current process that's been going on, any kind of expansions, contraction of operations, or any new investment in the company that may also have impact. So time horizon is very important in both resource planning and the capacity planning. After that, we have metrics. What kind of metrics are being used in resource planning? Resource planning is measured using metrics such as agent adherence, schedule adherence, occupancy rate, and agent utilization to assess the efficiency and effectiveness of resources allocation and scheduling. So basically, it's all about the metrics of agent, like at what time agents are logging in, at what time they are logged out, what kind of occupancy rate they have, what kind of agent utilization they have, to assess the efficiency and the effectiveness of the resources available. And on the basis of that, you have to do the scheduling. But on the other side, capacity planning is measured using metrics such as service level agreements, average handle time, forecast accuracy, and call volume trends to evaluate the call center ability to handle workload fluctuations and meet performance target. Capacity planning basically deals with the service level, HT, forecast accuracy, shrinkage, what kind of call pattern they have, and on the basis of that, forecast needs to be prepared to make sure that is the call center able to handle the workload that may be coming in the near future and to meet the performance target. So now let's move on to the fifth, which is flexibility. Resource planning requires flexibility to adjust staffing levels, schedules, and resources in real time to adapt to changing demand patterns, unforeseen events, and fluctuations in workload. So flexibility is very important in resource planning to adjust the staffing level depending on the call volume, what you have in case if you have high shrinkage, high absenteeism, how quickly you can adapt to the situation by aligning support staff to be logged in real time, by changing demand patterns, and any kind of IT issues, system issues may happen. So in that scenario, you have to quickly address all these things to make sure that the negative impact can be reduced to the higher extent. In capacity planning requires flexibility to scale operations up or down, add or remove resources, and implement changes in process or technology to meet evolving business needs and market dynamics over the long term. So capacity planning requires flexibility to scale any kind of operations. If the operation needs to be extended, if the operation needs to be ramped down, or any kind of additional resources need to be added or removed, and implement any kind of new process. So all these things would be coming under capacity planning. What is abandoned percentage formula? Option A, total calls abandoned divided by total calls offered. Option B, total calls offered divided by total calls abandoned. Please think for 5 seconds. And if you know the answer, please mention in the comment section also. So the correct answer for this is abandoned percentage formula is option number A, total calls abandoned divided by total calls offered. Next question we have, what would be ASA, average speed of answer, if service level is lower? Option number A, ASA would be lower. B, ASA would be higher. Let's wait for 5 seconds. So the correct answer for this question is that if service level is low, average speed of answer would be higher. The reason being that if service level is lower below the target of, you can say that the target is 80% and the service level is at 60% or 50%. So it means that there are not sufficient agent available to handle the calls and there would be high calls waiting. So that will lead to high ASA, average speed of answer, because all of the calls of the customers will not be answered as soon as possible. So that will increase the average speed of answer. I hope you like the video. Please subscribe and share.